Passed.
Thank you, Council President. That's all I have at this time.
And with that, Columbus City Council officially approved its updated zoning code for the first time in 70 years. Thanks for joining us tonight at 11, everybody. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Andrew Kinsey. It's a process that's taken months, but tonight it is finally over. 10 TV's Carly Dion live outside Council tonight with more on these changes. Carly.
Andrew, Yolanda, the focus of these changes mostly comes down to a goal of providing more housing and affordable housing options, something many say they're grateful the city is prioritizing right now.
I think what we heard today is that the will of the people was listened to.
Columbus City Council voting unanimously in favor of making significant changes to its zoning code for the first time in 70 years. The new code will rezone more than 12,000 parcels along a 140-mile stretch of the city's major corridors, which in turn will allow for more mixed-use businesses and housing, something this rapidly growing city desperately needs.
We simply do not have enough homes for all of the people who are here, let alone those who are coming.
Affordable Housing Alliance of Central Ohio Executive Director Carly Booz says the housing market is in a pressure point right now, saying the lack of housing is in part contributing to the lack of affordability.
It costs more to rent a home or to buy a home than a lot of our families are able to afford.
There were fewer housing units built in Columbus last year than the year before, and that's not a trajectory that we can continue on, as it really contributes to making existing housing more expensive.
The new zoning changes also include sustainability efforts like adding landscaping for certain areas and street trees for larger developments. It also eliminates minimum parking requirements for developers. While many people are on board with the changes, some have their reservations.
The proposal is an improvement over what we have right now. I think there are some components of it that we have concerns with.
Northwest Columbus resident Monica Tuttle sharing her concerns with council tonight, saying there are some uses that will now be allowed in her area that have not previously, including car washes, something many have fought against over the years. Meanwhile, other residents like Jonathan Beshears feel these changes still aren't enough to address the housing issue.
And I think that we need to open up in some of the future initiatives to open up the zoning in a lot of other areas so that we can start to construct more housing units all over the city.
The city worked closely with the community to get feedback throughout this process, something Councilmember Doran says will continue.
But ultimately, we know that there are other issues that have been identified throughout this process that ultimately we're going to have to keep working on. And I think over the next year, we're going to take up some of those issues.
Now, it will take 30 days for these changes to go into effect, but Councilmember Doran says this obviously isn't something that we're going to see change overnight, but rather we're really going to start to see the results of these changes over the next 2 to 4 years. Live in downtown Columbus, Carly Dion, 10 TV News.